Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm going to be covering what would happen if Naruto had Mirios abilities from My Hero Academia, Permeation. Now, this video in particular is going to be a 3-part series, so if you guys are going to be wanting access to part 2, then unfortunately you're going to have to be slapping that like button, and I'm going to need, like we're talking need, 600 videos or I'm just dropping this series, alright? So it's up to you guys, the fans, whether you guys want to see a part 2 to this or not. That said, enjoy.
Hey Ross, sauce it up.
This video all starts off when Naruto is 4 years old. As we all know in the Naruto story, once Naruto turns 4, Hiruzen is basically ready to yeet Naruto out the door and say, alright buddy, go ahead and live by yourself, have a great life. And this time around, something very strange would happen. See, Hiruzen would be telling this to Naruto, and Naruto would be feeling not good. As a kid, he'd kind of be having a little bit of a panic attack, being like, what? I'm gonna live by myself? Kind of like when we're told as kids that we need to sleep in our own rooms. That's the feeling that Naruto's feeling, except like times 10, okay? So Naruto feels that, and immediately, since he is 4 years old, and that is the quirk that most kids develop their abilities, aka quirks, I think it's a perfect spot to throw this in and have Naruto straight phase through the floor. Hiruzen would be looking right at Naruto, explaining to him that he'll be okay, that as a ninja, there's actually been plenty of people who have been growing up in their own houses when they were kids, and Naruto would be like scared of it, and suddenly he just phases through the ground, and Hiruzen is left there in a state of just being completely dumbfounded. Naruto would feel like he's just endlessly falling. He feels like he can't feel anything. He can't breathe, he can't see, he literally can't do nothing, bro. And Naruto just straight feels like this, right? His entire body, until he lands at the receptionist desks and he looks up at her and he's like, what happened? And she just looks at him with this look of complete disbelief. She is shocked. And from here, Hiruzen would body flicker down, going over towards Naruto and picking him up by his shoulders, asking him what just happened back there. Suddenly, Naruto would fall into the ground, and Hiruzen would wonder what in the world is happening. Like, Naruto didn't just go through like the floor. He went into the earth, and Naruto for some reason would snap out of it and pop back up into the normal realm. And he looks at Hiruzen, and Hiruzen looks at him, and he then says, you're not going anywhere, Naruto. We have to discover where this ability comes from, because if it's from Kurama, then I need to keep a very close eye on you. So Hiruzen keeps Naruto around, not necessarily because he's like, oh, I have to train your power, you know, you're gonna be a valuable asset, but more along the lines of, hey, let's hope that this isn't Kurama taking over or something like that. I have to be cautious with you. Like, think about how just cruddy that sounds. But regardless though, what would pretty much end up going down as soon as this would end up going, happening, would be that essentially Naruto would spend the next couple of months, give or take, pretty much just being with Hiruzen. And Hiruzen would simply just be monitoring Naruto until eventually one day Naruto's quirk would activate once again. And just like Mirio, he would have one of the most powerful quirks in the entirety of My Hero Academia's universe. Now, is it a very, very hard quirk to control? Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's the ability to straight permeate through things and go through solid objects. However, the ability to control this quirk takes an extreme amount of mastery, but luckily, Naruto would train from the age of 4 years old till he is 13 years. So I think that is more than enough time for Naruto to gain the same amount of experience with the quirk in the ninja world that Mirio would have gained in My Hero, in My Hero Academia, right? So Naruto at first struggles greatly with his quirk, but it's through the fact that Hiruzen and Naruto trained together that Naruto would slowly begin to get it. And although Hiruzen would be hard on Naruto and he wouldn't take things easy on him due to the fact that, you know, Naruto's born with a special quirk, you know, he has to, or special Genkai as Hiruzen would put it, Naruto now has to work twice as hard to make sure that his talents as an exceptional ninja don't go unfruitful, you know? Make sure that, you know, they bear fruit, obviously. And so what would happen after this is that Naruto just begins to become an absolute monster. I mean, seriously. Naruto gains power the likes that he never thought he was ever going to be getting. His taijutsu abilities alone would be on the same level of somebody like Rock Lee during the Chunin exams, at like before the wave exam. So obviously he is basically just the same level as Rock Lee when it comes to taijutsu. However, not only is that the case, but he also has the ability of permeation. So even though he only has access to that, shadow clones, and a very weak Gale Palm Jutsu as well as Wind Bullet Jutsu, that's all Naruto really needs. His abilities, his quirk, his taijutsu skills are more than enough to already propel him up to the rank of Chunin. However, Hiruzen doesn't just want to give Naruto this rank just cause he has to earn it. So Naruto stays in the academy, and ultimately the day of the graduation exam would come. Eventually, after Naruto would finish the exam, he realizes that he sees not Iruka, but what's the one? Mizuki straight grabbed Naruto's test, and before even grading it, he just crumbles it up in a ball and throws it away in the trash. Naruto, upon seeing that, would get very angry, but he would be about to say something when Mizuki goes over to him and would say that unfortunately he failed, but there is another way that Naruto could potentially pass the test. And Naruto, after hearing that, would create the fakest smile and say, "What's that?" And Mizuki would say, "Well, Naruto, you can steal the Forbidden Scroll of Sealing, and you can become a Genin right away. It's a bit of a secret mission, and it'll even make you Rookie of the Year." And, Naruto looks at him, and he's like, "You do realize that if I would have passed that test, I probably would have already been it anyways?" And Mizuki looks at him and says, "Yeah, but you failed, Naruto. So now, unfortunately, as much as you have the highest ranking in terms of strength here, you're not the smartest." And he says that to Naruto with a smile. Naruto like having to sit there and just take it from Mizuki. He just sits there and just takes it. You know what I mean? Naruto gets like this like devilish grin on his face as he looks at Mizuki and says, "Sure, I'll take the scroll. Where do I meet you?" And Mizuki would tell him the location of the forest, exactly where Naruto should meet him. Naruto smiles and would say, "All right." And he just gets up out of his desk and leaves the area. Mizuki smirks, thinking to himself that kid just lived his last day on this earth. And Mizuki would be thinking that not only is he going to be getting a large sum of money from Orochimaru for taking this scroll, but on top of that, Naruto, the world's biggest menace to the village, is finally going to be taken care of by Mizuki himself. He'll probably even be honored as a hero by the villagers, even though the village itself won't be favoring Mizuki too heavily. So ultimately, Mizuki would wait in the forest, and Naruto, after having permeated in the Hiruzen's office, grabbing the scroll and permeated out, would make his way straight towards the direction of the forest, where he would end up learning the multi-shadow clone jutsu. When I said he learned shadow clones, that doesn't mean multi-shadow clones. So he does learn the multi-shadow clone jutsu, and Naruto just thinks that that's really the only ability he can make use of. Things like Flying Raijin and Rasengan don't really intrigue Naruto as much as, other things, but ultimately Naruto thinks to himself, the Rasengan jutsu, though is interesting, he doesn't have enough time to write it down or to even think about learning it, considering that it did take him a while to learn the multi-shadow clone. And right after that, Mizuki immediately ends up arriving. Immediately upon arriving, Mizuki would say, "Naruto, you finally have done it. Give me the scroll, kid." And he would have his hand on like a kunai behind his back, right, ready to just throw it at Naruto. And Naruto would be like, "Wait, so why do I throw it?" But before Naruto can finish that sentence, Mizuki would grab a kunai and toss it at the neck of Naruto permeating his neck so that the blade would go right through it. And then he just throws himself on the ground, making it seem like it actually penetrated and killed him. And Mizuki would smirk and say, "That kid should have known better than to trust me. Damn Jinchuriki." And from here, Naruto just turns towards Mizuki, and Mizuki would be just about to grab the scroll when Naruto stands up and says, "What do you think you're doing?" And Mizuki would look at him with shocked expression, saying, "How? It pierced you. I saw it." And Naruto would say, "No, it didn't pierce me. I did this," as he would walk straight through Mizuki's body. And Mizuki would be stunned. He's like, "How in the world is this kid doing that?" You know what I mean? But Naruto would simply look at him and say that that's none of his business. As from here, Naruto would give Mizuki the two-piece combo, and Mizuki would then be taken before Hiruzen by Naruto, saying that he's completed his first C-rank mission. And Hiruzen would simply look at Naruto and say, you're expecting payment, aren't you? Naruto saying, yep. Before then, you know, like holding his hand out, and Hiruzen begrudgingly having to toss a bag of money at Naruto. Naruto from here would look at him and say, pleasure doing business with you, old man. As before I move on, I think that this is a great place to explain the relationship dynamic between Hiruzen and Naruto. See, I think if I had to explain it, it would be a little similar to that of Mirios and Sir Night-Eye. Even though he was hard on him, he did that because he needed to be. So Hiruzen, although, you know, like Naruto and Hiruzen don't have like the greatest like oh, like I love you so much relationship, Naruto still loves and respects Hiruzen to a very, very high standard. And Hiruzen likes Naruto this time, you know, a lot more than in canon, and he looks at him as kind of like a second grandchild, you know what I mean? So Naruto is definitely heavily favored when it comes to Hiruzen and stuff like that. So eventually the day would pretty much end, and the very next day Naruto would then be on the selecting list of the team. Naruto, the rookie of the year mind you, would then be selected to be put on a team with Sakura Haruno, Sasuke Uchiha, and Kakashi Hatake. As from here he goes on to meet his future teammates the very next day, and on this particular day they would end up having the bell test go down, seeing as the day before they had introductions. Now during said bell test, what would be very interesting about this is that while all this was going down and the bell test was being explained, Naruto was straight just passed out. He had not really gotten much sleep last night, just kind of very excited at the fact that he's gonna finally start his ninja journey, you know what I mean? So when Kakashi was explaining everything, Naruto was straight just dead asleep. Kakashi taps on Naruto, and Naruto instinctively like punches Kakashi in the face, right? Kakashi would like hold his face and then say, kid, what was that for? And Naruto says, my bad, instincts, you know? As from here, Kakashi just looks at him, like slightly closes his eye that is visible, you know, to show that he is not very like happy right now. And then he would say, okay, Naruto. As from here, Naruto would go on to like be like, all right, well, what's the first order of business, you know? And then Kakashi would look at him and say that, you know, they have to capture these bells. And Naruto would say, oh, that's it? As Kakashi would be like, what do you mean that's it? Naruto from here would run right at Kakashi, and Kakashi would, having his book out, would look at him, not even pay any mind to him, thinking seriously, this is his great plan. And Naruto would run through him, shocking Kakashi, who thought he was gonna have to like dodge his punch or something, or dodge some kicks from a Genin, would be completely shocked to find out that when he stuck his hand out to block Naruto's punch, Naruto's fist went right through him and ultimately went straight towards grabbing the bells and ripping them clean off of Kakashi's waistband. Kakashi would be shocked and he would drop the book on the floor as Naruto would say, you dropped this, catching it before it would actually touch, and Kakashi would be stunned like, thank you so much, like I can't believe that you saved my book from hitting the ground, like you pass. And then he looks at the team and he'd be like, you guys pass. As from here, Naruto would just look at Kakashi and would be like, all right, so what's first order of business, team captain? And then Kakashi goes on to grab his book, like kiss it profusely and say that the real reason of this test was teamwork. However, because Naruto seemed to show very impressive ability that caught Kakashi completely off guard, he thinks that he himself is worthy of becoming a Chunin at bare minimum, asking Naruto if he was to be willing to give a bit of a presentation on his strength. And Sasuke would say that that loser doesn't belong to be on this team. He should have stayed at the academy. Naruto then turning towards Sasuke and saying that he does very much so belong because of the fact that he, unlike Sasuke, actually got stronger. Sasuke has stayed just as weak as he was the day he met him. And Naruto would say that maybe if he trained 5 times harder, he might light a candle to him. And Sasuke would be like, what'd you say to me? As from here, Kakashi would be like, guys, chill out. As from here, what would end up going down is that they would end up making their way to their own houses, and eventually 2 weeks worth of D-rank missions would pass by, ultimately leading Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura to develop a somewhat decent relationship with each other, where even though they kind of mutually talk to one another every now and then, and Sasuke doesn't really like Naruto because he's like, oh, you know, that rookie of the year spot should have been mine, you know what I mean? And as much as I wish I could turn Sasuke into like a Tamaki kind of figure, I don't think that that's the direction of the story that I'm going to be taking. Neither am I going to be transforming Sakura into a Nejire-like figure because I just couldn't possibly do that. However, if you guys want to see Sakura for the first time ever be useful in any of my videos, go watch What If Sakura Was Useful. It's a good video, trust me. It's not the Sakura we all know and hate. So go check that one out. Anyways though, continuing forward with the story, after 2 weeks would pass, Naruto and the rest of the team would become impatient, thinking to themselves that what they're doing with their times is a complete waste, and even Kakashi himself would agree. So they make their way towards Hiruzen's office, and Naruto would be like, hey old man, give us a better mission, right? Hiruzen would look at Naruto and say, oh Naruto, it's just you. As from here, Naruto would turn towards Hiruzen and say, yeah, just me. Now give us a better mission, you old hag. I don't got all day. Hiruzen from here would take a hit of his cigar and from here would turn towards Naruto and say, alright. As after this, he would then call in the bridge builder, who walks in drunkenly, lazily, and begins to spit like slurs at the direction of Naruto, Sasuke, Kakashi, and even Sakura, beginning to talk about how this team is so weak. The only, practically even a bit imposing member of this team was Kakashi, and he says that he demands a different team. However, Hiruzen goes on to inform him that unluckily there is no other teams available at the moment, so Tazuna would begrudgingly accept, and the very next day they would meet up at the bridge, whereas Tazuna would profusely apologize for his behavior, saying that that is not like him and that he regrets any actions he might have pulled during that time. And so Naruto and the rest of the team would just kind of forgive him and stay silent, until eventually they run across the Demon Brothers, right? Now, both brothers would immediately rush in at the direction of Kakashi and would ambush him immediately, catching him off guard, or so we would think, until eventually Sasuke and Naruto would both step up to the plate. Naruto would run up towards the first demon brother, the one who was responsible for poisoning him with his kunai, and Naruto, wait, did he poison him with his kunai? Oh no, that was Naruto. He stabbed himself with the kunai. So the one with the laced kunai would go in and attack Naruto, and Naruto would just phase through the kunai, and the guy would be shocked, like stunned at the fact that he didn't hit Naruto, right? He thinks for a second he left like an after image or something, considering that, like Naruto didn't even get touched, but he was still there, and he was scared. But Naruto opened his mouth and said, hey there. As from here, he straight pretended to poke him in the eyes. The man would close them, and then Naruto punches him square in the gut, sending him flying into a tree and knocking him out cold. The other demon brother would then proceed to get taijutsu smacked by Sasuke, before then jumping into the air and yelling Futanjutsu, before then using the fireball jutsu, causing the demon brother to be completely charred, and ultimately Kakashi to interrogate the only remaining demon brother, before then offing him and taking him in place for his own bingo book, or for the bingo book, my bad. But after this happens, we end up then suddenly getting the introduction of the new antagonist of this particular arc, Zabuza Momochi, right? Now Zabuza would make his classic great entrance that we get in the original, such as him shooting his sword at the direction of a tree, everybody being stunned by it, and ultimately everyone just kind of being like, like, what are we gonna do? Except Naruto, who doesn't really seem to care the fact that this guy has a blade, the size of like basically himself, right? And Naruto turns towards Zabuza and says like, if like that's supposed to scare him. And Zabuza's like, what a big mouth on this run, huh? Kakashi Hatake. As from here, Kakashi would turn towards Zabuza and look at Naruto before saying to just step back and watch the master at work. By the way, guys, if my voice sounds like a little off at some like key points, it's because I'm genuinely falling asleep recording this video. Last night, I fell asleep at 5 a.m. working on a video, and it's not only because I have to work on a video, but it's because of a just combination of different things. My sleep schedule is officially just so borderline unhealthy. I mean, I have to make 2 videos a day. I have to make a what if every single day, and then on top of that, I have to make videos for my second channel, link in description, where I'm going to be posting incredibly edited videos, way better than the ones here. So go check them out. And my first one's going to be coming out probably in like 2 days, if not 1 day. So definitely make sure to check that one out. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, continuing forward, Kakashi would ultimately still get caught off guard by Zabuza's water prison bubble, and Naruto ultimately would sigh before then saying, seriously, Kakashi, I seriously have to come save you. As from here, Naruto would just stop playing games, right? As Zabuza would create a bunch of clones and would say that his team's dead. Kakashi would tell them to run away, and Naruto would simply begin running towards the direction of Kakashi. Each clone would then attack at Naruto, but Naruto would use the shadow clone jutsu to create 6 clones of himself, and just each simultaneously rush in at the Zabuza clones, phasing through the first short strike that each of them would individually pull on them, and then like would just punch these Zabuza water clones out of existence, before then Naruto would get in front of the real Zabuza and would use that same exact technique that Mirio used on class 1A, doing the poking of the eyes before Zabuza would like let go of the thing, and then Naruto punches him in the gut, sending him flying into the water, as Zabuza would have to swim out of it and then use his chakra on his feet to walk on it, which is what Naruto's already doing. Suddenly, however, we see some Senbon needles flying towards the neck of Zabuza, and Naruto would watch as like a random mist-tracking ninja would come in, grab the body of Zabuza and say that, you know, that he was a hunting nin and that he caught Zabuza, thank you for all their help, yada yada yada. And Naruto would turn towards Haku and say, oh yeah, for sure, grabbing Kakashi and making their way towards Tazuna. Now Naruto this time is not dumb. He knows that, you know, he's definitely not a tracking ninja, because tracking ninja get rid of the body there and then. This one ran away with the body. However, Naruto wasn't sure if a full all-out battle was in space right now, you know? Considering that Zabuza was wasting energy with the Sharingan activated, and you know, Naruto just didn't want to put the team in an unfavorable position all in all. So they make their way towards Tazuna's, and eventually we get the introduction of the most annoying character, second only to Sakura Haruno, Inari, you know, Tsunami's son and Tazuna's grandchild. As from here, he would go on to whine and cry about how Gato is this OP overlord that will never be defeated, you know? But Naruto would say, hey kid, as he sticks his head through the wall, and Inari would freak out running to his room. Naruto being like, well, I guess he didn't want to talk. And then he would sit down on the table and eat. Before they would know it, about 1 week would pass, and eventually Zabuza and Haku would be right before them once again. Naruto stepping forward and saying that he wants to be the one responsible for facing off against Haku. And Sasuke would say, no way, that's my fight. You've been hogging all the glory this entire time, Naruto, and now with my new ability of water walking and tree walking, I think it's about time that I got down to business, right? As Naruto would turn towards Sasuke and say, Sasuke, the grown-ups are talking. Suddenly, Zabuza would rush in at Naruto with his blade and slash at Naruto's neck. Naruto would permeate, jump up in the air, and say, it's showtime!